Thank you so much for joining us. First, I wanted to say a brief word about our fall 2016 list, and that word is stellar because we have 16 starred reviews so far. Vietnam by Newbery medalist and three-time Newbery Honor winner Russell Friedman has 4 reviews so far, and all of them are starred. Booklist called it a must for all history shelves. The middle grade novel, 27 Magic Words, has 2 starred reviews and has been called a quietly moving, well-paced work by School Library Journal. And Brown versus Board of Education weighs in with 3 starred reviews, including one from Booklist, calling it particularly valuable. Also receiving starred reviews are 2-time Newbery Honor winning author Patricia Riley Giff's Guide to Writing, Writing with Rosie, You Can Write a Story Too, Look Up, an innovative picture book about a wheelchair-dependent child, and The Sleeping Gypsy has a mystery star, which will be revealed on November 1st. It also was reviewed in both the Wall Street Journal and the Chicago Tribune this last week. Shelley Rotner's farm-to-table photo essay for young children, Grow, Raise, Catch, How We Get Our Food, and Pug, one of our acclaimed I Like to Read books by Geisel-winning author Ethan Long. Donna Hosey's 3rd book in the Devil's Intern series, The Devil's Banshee, and our newest young adult fantasy by debut author Hannah West, Kingdom of Ashen Briars, which is featured on the cover of the October 15th issue of Booklist.
This just came in an hour ago, so we didn't get it on the presentation, but we're just delighted it's on the first novels issue on Booklist. I was so excited about that. I'm starting now. Okay, welcome to our spring list. We are publishing a board book edition of What a Treasure by Jane and Will Hillenbrand. This charming story is about Mole, who upon receiving a new shovel proceeds to dig for treasure. He digs up gifts for his animal neighbors and a new friend for himself. The themes of friendship and sharing resonate for all ages, even toddlers. In a starred review, Publishers Weekly called the book a warm look at appreciating the small, often unexpected joys in one's life. With simpler, cleaner type and a smaller toddler-friendly trim size, this makes a jewel of a board book. Reach for the Moon, Little Lion is by Hildegard Mueller. Little Lion is smaller than all the other lions. The other animals laugh at Little Lion and chant, "Are you a lion or a mouse?" They tell him that real lions are so big they can touch the moon with a paw. Little Lion feels just hopeless until a wise and kind raven devises a plan. Witnessed by every animal in the neighborhood, Little Lion walks to the top of a hill where he reaches for the moon and touches it. This simply told, beautifully illustrated story deals with important subjects for young children, including dealing with bullies, welcoming the help of friends, and self-acceptance. Stay-at-Home Sammy and the Runaway Spot is by Maria Nelson Thor. One day, Sammy wakes up not feeling great when she discovers that one of her 500 spots is missing. She sees it trying to run away, so she runs after it, until she realizes that if the spot really wants to leave, she should just let it go. So she opens the window and the spot is free. Now readers are treated to a surprise. A spectacular gatefold reveals a story within a story, the eye-opening adventures of a runaway spot. This is a tale full of visual humor. In the end, the spot does return home. Sammy and her spot acknowledge their differences, but they do remain the best of friends. In addition to the humor and the great art, the themes of letting go, live and let live, and embracing differences will resonate with readers. And it's a great classroom story for character comparisons as well as studying points of view. Shelley Rotner is already known for her photo essays such as Families and Shades of People, which is an ALA notable book. In Hello Spring, she once again pairs extraordinary photographs. I just love the crocuses in this illustration, with a lyrical text in an introduction to the season. Wonderfully appealing children from many diverse backgrounds join the festivities as flowers bloom, ducklings quack, and warmth spreads. Vibrant photographs show changes in plants and animals as the seasons arrive, and the book also notes the physical changes in the earth, such as ice melting and the ground warming up. A glossary explains key concepts and words. It's a terrific K-1 early science title or a story time book. Next up is Birds Make Nests by Michael Garland. Some nests are high, some nests are low, others are shaped like cups or mounds. This book covers location, structure, and material of nests. Why do birds make nests anyway? Well, one reason is to keep safe. Another is to keep chicks safe until they leave their nests. This is a wonderful book for preschool, kindergarten, first and second grade. And the text is easy enough for a first grader to read on his or her own. The art is spectacular. Michael Garland made woodcuts and also used digital tools to illustrate 30 beautiful birds and their nests, even some that are built on human-made structures, such as the drain pipe that you see on the screen. The book aligns with next generation science standards for life science for grades K2, earth and space science for kindergarten, and engineering design for K2.
Ants Rule, the long and short of it, is a whimsical and colorful book about non-standard measurement, making comparisons, and collecting and representing data. Fun-loving ants measure their insect friends to make a fabulous carnival surprise. They use lengths of ants as non-standard measures. So butterfly is 5 ants long, but walking stick is 6 inches long. The ants then compare the results in dialogue that's meant to familiarize young children with terms such as shortest, longest, and longer than. The ants then compare the results. Simple pie charts and graphs introduce methods for showing data, and the book aligns with instructional math standards, but the concepts are important to any math curriculum. Bob Barner's cut paper art is phenomenal. There's a spectacular gatefold grand finale that reveals the roller coaster that the ants build. It's an innovative and stunningly illustrated math book. My Awesome Summer by P. Mantis is by Geisel Honor winner Paul Mizell. It's a delightful and funny narrative nonfiction for very young children. Though the science is serious and has been vetted by an entomologist, the tone is tongue-in-cheek. P. Mantis's life cycle is told in diary form, starting with May 17th. I was born. To May 24th. Some big birds landed near me. I did my cool trick, pretending to be a stick blowing in the wind. To June 2nd. All the aphids are gone. I'm hungry. I ate one of my brothers. Okay, maybe 2. And it ends on October 17th. I'm going to lie down now and take a long nap. Goodbye. The book aligns with next generation science standards for life science. Magnets Push, Magnets Pull is by David A. Adler with illustrations by Anna Roth. As you know, books on the physical sciences for early elementary school students are in short supply. This is the 3rd book in the series that Adler and Roth have done together that introduces young children to the basics of physics. The force will not only be with kids who read this book, but they'll also understand how a force can work to attract and repel things. Pole, magnetic field, and both simple magnets and electromagnets are explained. And it's filled with hands-on activities to help kids internalize what they've learned. This is an important subject for all science curriculums. It's It has an index and a glossary as well. Transportation, How People Get Around, is by nonfiction maven Gail Gibbons. From planes, trains, and automobiles to bikes, scooters, and boats, Gail Gibbons explores the options. She employs colorful artwork and an accessible text to explain travel over land, sea, and air, whether commuting to work, running errands, recreating, going on a long trip, or even venturing into space. Gail Gibbons covers it in this book. Impressive displays of many types of vehicles make for handy comparison, and terms such as carpooling, control towers, and monorails are explained. The back matter includes this cool chart detailing transportation-related signage and signals. And like every book by Gail Gibbons, it's thorough and thoughtful.
Now we're moving on to our easy readers. I Like to Read is our award-winning picture book series for emerging readers. We are celebrating our 5-year anniversary this year, which we're really excited about. And with this upcoming spring list, we will now have 60 titles in the series. I Like to Read books written at kindergarten and early first grade reading levels are all levels A through G. The first of our 3 new I Like to Read picture book readers this season is Here as Big Bunny. We're publishing a paperback I Like to Read edition of the book, which was originally published as a picture book, because this is a guided reading level A, which is very, very rare. It's only the second level A book in the series. In this happy book, populated with more than 150 characters, readers are asked to look for Big Bunny body parts all over town, from the foot outside the museum to the tail from the park. The satisfying payoff comes at the end. Big Bunny is actually a parade balloon. Pip Sits is next. This is a level D I Like to Read title. Pip is having fun jumping, plopping, and peeking when Mother Duck asks him to sit on her eggs while she's called away. As he sits, Pip hears a tap, then feels a poke. A duckling comes out and thinks Pip is his mother. So do the other hatchlings until Mama Duck comes back, plops into the water, and the ducklings follow. The art in this book is just adorable. Peeper and Zeep. This is an I Like to Read level E book. Peeper the bird and Zeep the alien both like to fly. Each have mishaps and end up lost together. Their new friend, A Frog's flying machines don't solve the problem, but all 3 work together to build a house where Peeper and Zeep live comfortably until their parents come to get them. The subjects of cooperation, creative problem solving, engineering, friendship and family, and patience, as well as the wacky artwork and characters, are at the perfect interest level for new readers. Caroline's Comets is next. This is a true story by Caldecott winner Emily Arnold McCulley. In 1786, Caroline Herschel was the first woman to discover a comet, and a few years later, the first woman ever to be paid for scientific research. But no one who knew Caroline as a child could have predicted her stellar future. Illness scarred her face and stunted her growth. Her mother didn't want Caroline to be educated and insisted that Caroline's role in life was to be the family housekeeper. Yuck. But under the influence of her musician astronomer brother, Caroline's life changed. She learned mathematics, helped build the most powerful telescope of her day, created a catalog of celestial bodies that was used by astronomers for many years, and made discoveries of her own. The book includes primary sources in the form of excerpts from Caroline's diary. It aligns with next generation science standards for engineering design for grades K to 3, as well as Earth and space science for grade 1. It's also a perfect Women's History Month title. Noodleheads are next. Ted Arnold's Fly Guy books have made him one of the most popular authors in America, and he has sold over 20 million books. Can't believe he has that many in print. Noodlehead See the Future is the second hilarious comic-style chapter book by Ted Arnold and the talented storyteller team of Martha Hamilton and Mitch Weiss. Each book has 3 chapters based on folk tales that build up to a hilarious climax. The Noodlehead brothers, Mac and Mac, have nothing upstairs. That's why they're easily duped by Cousin Meatball, or often fall victim to their own logical fallacies. When Meatball sees Mac and Mac sitting on a tree branch and sawing it, he predicts they'll fall and bruise their bottoms, and they do. Mac and Mac conclude that Meatball can see the future. Puns such as lend a hand and a piece of cake, as well as visual humor, tell a wacky story that's based upon traditional folktale motifs. Back matter traces the folk origins of various incidents in the story. This original take is great for reluctant readers, especially boys. We'd like to let you know that the first book about Mac and Mac, Noodlehead Nightmares, will be published in paperback this spring. This graphic novel chapter book is called Endlessly Wacky by Kirkus, and PW said it is sure to elicit giggles. Let's Estimate is by the winning team of David A. Adler and Edward Miller, who have now done a dozen popular math books together. Estimation and rounding are math skills every child must learn. Why not employ some goofy dinosaurs to make the concepts more memorable and insert some fun into the proceedings? The math here is clearly explained. Adler clarifies the difference between rounding and estimating, which are often confused. The rules of how to round are outlined. Ed Miller has done a terrific job both explaining the information visually and adding humor to what could be a very dry subject. This is another math title like triangles can really grow with readers. Author Sue Macy and illustrator Matt Collins' latest collaboration is a triumphant salute to female athleticism. Trudys Big Swim, How Gertrude Ederle Swam the English Channel and Took the World by Storm, is the true story of a celebrated swimmer who just couldn't be satisfied with her Olympic medals. In the 1920s, Gertrude Ederle was determined to become the first woman to swim the English Channel. With lyrical text, Sue Macy describes the many obstacles that the channel threw at Trudy during her swim, and also contextualizes Trudy's athletic history. Meanwhile, Matt Collins' stunning artwork puts readers right in the chilly water next to Trudy. The book includes source notes, a list of resources, a timeline, bibliography, and afterword. And it's another great title for Women's History Month.
We are really excited about our fiction list for the spring. One Good Thing About America is by debut fiction author Ruth Freeman. She's written nonfiction, but her work in Maine public schools teaching English language learners, many of them very new immigrants, inspired her to write this novel. It's told in letters written by a 9-year-old immigrant from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The book has a very serious center, and Anais, her mother, and young brother have fled, leaving family behind in perilous circumstances, and her grandmother all alone. So Anais is homesick and heartsick, but the novel is not at all without humor. As Anais becomes Annie, she comments with amazement and wit on all the crazy American customs like eating chicken fingers and the very odd ideas that her peers have about Africa. At the same time, she delights in new wonders such as snow, pizza, and princess sleepovers. And as the months pass, she has to admit she might just be becoming one of those crazy Americans herself. The topic of immigration is a pressing one right now. This insightful book provides a unique outside perspective on American life for young readers. Revenge of the Star Survivors. In this book, middle school meets the dark side. This is a grimly hilarious survival story that gamers, sci-fi fans, nerds, or anyone who feels like an outsider will really appreciate. 8th grader Clark Sherman moves to a new town, or as Clark puts it, he moves to an inhospitable planet where the natives are definitely hostile. He's socially awkward and is bullied physically by other kids and psychologically by the school's principal. But luckily, Clark finds solace in the sci-fi TV show Star Survivors. His budding friendships with fellow fans and help from Ms. Beacon, the librarian, inspire Clark to stand up for what is right in the way that only a Star Survivor fan could devise. It is really a brilliant debut. Mike Michel's writing is smart, painfully funny, and really deeply moving. He's the arts and features editor at the Dallas Morning News. Genevieve's War, two-time Newbery Honor winner Patricia Riley Giff tells a companion story to her first Newbery Honor book, Lily's Crossing. That book followed an American girl on the home front in Queens during World War II. Genevieve's War is a narrative about a 13-year-old American girl from Queens who's trapped in France during the German occupation. After spending the summer of 1939 with her seemingly dour Alsatian grandmother, Genevieve makes an impulsive decision that causes her to miss the last passenger ocean liner leaving France for America before the war breaks out. It's filled with suspense. The novel follows Genevieve and her grandmother as they shelter a teenage resistance fighter in a hidden attic room that's directly over the head of a German officer who's commandeered a room in the farmhouse. As Genevieve sees that she may not be able to trust even her closest friends in the village, she realizes that she has to rely on her grandmother's judgment and her own acumen. It's really a riveting novel with a touching intergenerational theme. We have some nonfiction, Superwomen, 6 Scientists Who Changed the World by Lori Lawler. This title celebrates scientific as well as social significance of 6 incredible women who broke new ground with their research and busted through glass ceilings with their careers. It's a diverse group. Eugenie Clark was a Japanese-American shark expert. Catherine Coleman Johnson is an African-American mathematician and space scientist. The accomplishments are awe-inspiring. Gertrude Elion won a Nobel Prize, and E. Margaret Burbidge helped create the Hubble telescope. They faced discrimination. As a woman, geographer Marie Tharp was not allowed on ocean-going research vessels. And these women were also inspiring role models. Archaeologist Florence Hawley Ellis helped contemporary Pueblo hang on to their lands. All were active mentors and determined people who just wouldn't take no for an answer. It's an ideal book for Women's History Month in March, and it's beautifully written by American Library Association notable author Lori Lawler. Viva Rose is a rip-roaring debut novel set in America's Old West. It was inspired by the author's family stories of a cousin who rode with Pancho Villa during the Mexican Revolution. When 14-year-old Texan Rose Solomon recognizes her brother Abe in a newspaper photo of Pancho Villa and his army, she's stunned and furious. He was supposed to be in Brooklyn, New York. With Abe gone, Rose's Russian immigrant parents are completely focused on marrying her to a suitable Jewish young man. Rose is instead determined to get Abe home, but her plan to contact him goes awry, and she ends up being kidnapped by Pancho Villa's revolutionaries. Deep in the desert, amidst a really wonderfully rendered assortment of freedom seekers, Rose doesn't see any sign of Abe and has no hope of being released herself. But as she learns to lie, hide, and ride like a true bandit, Rose discovers the real meaning of freedom and what she's willing to do to get hers back. Behind Closed Doors is a suspenseful story of teenagers in peril. It's by Miriam Halani, author of this fall's Hidden. It tells the parallel stories of 16-year-old British teens thrown together by circumstances. For Tasha, her mother's new predatory boyfriend makes her home unsafe. Josie's obsessive hoarding mother goes to jail for unpaid back taxes, leaving Josie to dodge social services and take care of herself. While on the run, Tasha lands at Josie's front door begging to be let in, and the two become unlikely roommates. But then, Josie's mother's so-called friend from jail moves in to try and exploit Josie, and the teens are in danger again. However, gradually, as the young women help one another through harrowing experiences, each learns to take control of her own life. This is a compelling novel that deals with urgent social issues, including teen homelessness, hoarding, sexual abuse, and mental illness in parents. But mostly, it's just really a terrific read.
I'll just quickly go through our spring paperback list because you probably already know these books from hardcover. So this season we have books from preschool all the way up through young adult. Jane Cabrera adapts and reinvents a favorite nursery rhyme, There Was an Old Woman Who Lived in a Shoe, with new lyrics and a multicultural family. It's an ideal storytime book called Engaging, as well as Warm and Fuzzy by School Library Journal. Looking for Bongo is by Eric Velasquez, winner of the CSK New Talent Award, a Port Belpré Award, as well as an NAACP Image Award. This is an endearing story of a boy searching for a lost toy. SLJ wrote in a starred review, this work's celebration of diversity within Latino culture will warm hearts. Ballerina Gets Ready is by prima ballerina Allegra Kent, with art by Catherine Stock, and it takes the dancer through her day from rehearsal to costume fitting to the moment the curtain is raised. SLJ notes that the book will assuredly captivate young readers. Again, all of our I Like to Read titles are published simultaneously in paperback. Here is Big Bunny, first time as an I Like to Read title, plus Pip Sits and Peeper and Zeep that you already heard about. Place Value is next, by David A. Adler and Edward Miller. It continues their popular series of math titles with a book that combines clarity, visual explanations of concepts, and fun. As monkeys baking the biggest banana muffin ever demonstrate why place value matters, readers will get their ones, tens, and hundreds all sorted out. Here is the full slide for Noodlehead Nightmares that I mentioned a little earlier. You're Pulling My Leg is next. 400 Human Body Sayings from Head to Toe is by Pat Street and Eric Brace. It's an innovative collection of idioms. Kirk is said to look for knee slappers on every page, while SLJ wrote that readers will be deriving hours of pleasure from the rich content and discovering new things each time they pick the book up. This is perfect for language arts classrooms and to use with English language learners. Our Teacher is a Vampire and Other Not True Stories is by State Award favorite Mary Amato. As a blank book gets passed around a classroom, students add their jokes and humor along with their hopes and fears, with the efforts culminating in a collective story for the teacher's new baby. Booklist wrote that this is more than just an engaging and appealing story. It is likely to be an inspiration to budding writers and their teachers. The Apple Tart of Hope is by Sarah Moore Fitzgerald. It has already been named this year a Booklist Top 10 Contemporary Middle Grade Novel. It just came out in the spring. In this story about both friendship and bullying taken to extremes, a teen boy is missing and presumed dead by his own hand, but his best friend refused to believe that he would actually kill himself. The book received stars, as Mary mentioned, from Booklist and Kirkus reviews, and Kirkus called it a roadmap for keeping book alive. It really is beautifully, beautifully written. Finally, we have Desert's Dark by Sonia Stone. 16-year-old Nadia learns that the elite boarding school to which she's gotten a full scholarship is actually a training program for covert CIA operations. Kirkus Reviews wrote, "This thriller will keep readers guessing right to the very last page. Sonia is also working on a new companion novel to Desert Dark for fall of 2017. I'll just spend a minute or two talking about marketing. As you know, Holiday House offers a wealth of online resources right at your fingertips, including several ways to find just the right book, plus a collection of guides and activity sheets for more than 185 titles for you to share with your customers. Here are just a few of the ways that you can locate books. At the top left of the page, you can search for new releases and browse catalogs, as well as find books by theme, by author or illustrator, or by reading levels in an easy-to-use Excel spreadsheet. And just to let you know, we should have our catalog for this list up online by early November, so you'll be able to find it there. If you're looking for any one of our 60 titles in the I Like to Read series, simply click on the book logo. We have extensive materials for educators on a separate tab within the I Like to Read mini site for your use. For a list of titles and the correlations to the instructional standards, click on the red button on the left. Next, I'd like to call out just a few more special items that we offer on our website. I think, as you know, we publish 4 exclusive activities and multi-layered discussion questions with instructional standards correlations listed right on every title's online book page. We've been doing this for several seasons, and we really have a rich resource on our website. Next, we have downloadable site-word flashcards for each of the books in the I Like to Read series. The URL on the screen will take you directly to that flashcard page. And we offer over 375 titles from picture books through young adult novels in ebook format. Please do follow us on social media. We post every day on either Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, or Instagram. Some days you can find us on all of the platforms. If you haven't already signed up to receive our monthly e-newsletter, and we think that you have, which is how you found out about today's presentation, please do. The newsletter, as you know, is chock full of interesting tidbits about our books and authors, plus awards, starred reviews, and more. So thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please reach out. We look forward to seeing you at our next presentation, or if you will be at ALA Midwinter in Atlanta, we look forward to seeing you there in January. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Thank you.